Peace and love, everybody. Alaikum salam. This is a new edition of the Royal Falcon brand. Let's talk. Today, I usually will be on the other side of the camera, but our cameraman Miguel is not here, so I'm gonna take it from this angle. And I like this angle better because I want y'all to get the full focus on Charleston's next big thing. My brother Damein Nesbit. How you doing, brother?
What's up, man? Coolin'.
How you doing today?
I'm alright, man. You coolin'?
Yes, sir. First, thank you for being on the show, man. First and foremost.
No problem, man. Thank you for having me.
For y'all, I know the scenery looks different. This is actually a preview of our venue where we're gonna have the show at. I'm not gonna get y'all everything. I just been showing my brother Damein around when he's gonna tear the house down at. And so Damein, man, tell the crowd who are you, man? Like, who is Damein Nesbit?
Damein is somebody who uses music as an outlet for all the things that I've been through in life. When trials and tribulations come, everything ain't gonna be peaches and cream. So it's like, if you go through things, everybody need that outlet. Some people use football. I used to do football, I used to do track. And then I stopped that, and then I just went straight to music. Like after I get kicked out of school, that's what I use for like to fuel me to keep going. And like every time I put the pen to the paper, it was like I want to keep doing it until I get better and better each day. That's it.
You feel like music is a savior of people? It can help people out more?
Honestly, I'm gonna tell you some real shit. I was 17, I was facing 60 years in prison over something that I didn't do. Because somebody threw dirt on my name, threw me under the bus. It was that I got kicked out of school, couldn't run track, couldn't do football, didn't have social media, cut off from everything. Had to move out our house. We moved with my grandmama in Johns Island. You know that's the country. I'm a city boy. I'm from Charleston. You know that's the country. Ain't shit but deers, rabbits, that's nature right there. It wasn't nothing to do but walk, think, and write music. And at the time, people use drugs as an outlet too, but at the time I wasn't really smoking weed. I don't even smoke weed no more now. Like, but that was just like my whole outlet thing. And it was like, when you go through certain stuff, it was like, dang, like I never been in the system before. So it was like, at the same time, it's like I gotta keep faith in God, but at the same time, it's like I've never been through this before, so I don't know if I'm going to jail for 60 years or not. So at one point in time, it was like I just wanted to end it.
Yeah.
And then, I started listening to music to calm me down, because music, that's what I like to do, but that's what I like to listen to. But it wasn't like I was on it heavy like how I am now. And then once I saw the type of power that music and how it can move you, how it can motivate you, that was like, that is my example of that. Like, that's how I feel about that.
Would you use your music as a influential way to help others?
Yeah, because I know what I've been through, and I'm not gonna be the first person, I'm not gonna be the last person to go through it. And this shit that people go through that's way deeper than what I went through. And if music can stop me from doing something, harming myself, or music can stop me from thinking, get me out of depression, get me out of that fucked up mindset, I know it can do, something with somebody else, because we all human. We all human. We might not look the same, we might not speak the same, but we all human. Like, music can move everybody. That's like worldwide, honestly.
I'm glad you said that, because there's always the tension in every room. Like if you ever notice, like every time when I go out, like even like at school or work, whatever, the black people graduate towards more the black people. The white people sit by the white people. Spanish people sit next to Spanish people. Do you feel like music is what brings us together to cut that out?
Yeah, because you gotta think about all the greats. Like, think about James Brown. Back in the day, was it segregation? The white people was fucking with that nigga. They was at his shows trying to do the same shit he was doing. Michael Jackson, he had niggas Africa fucking with him, people in Asia, all type of stuff. Like, his music was worldwide. Tupac, Biggie, big names like that. Aaliyah, Selena. That's her name, is Selena, right?
Yeah, Selena.
Selena. Yeah, like she's Hispanic, and we got African American people listening to her. some of us ain't even understand what she was saying. It just
Hey,
sound
no.
pretty. Like music bring people together, man. Think about Tupac. Tupac when he came out with Death Row, he was like bringing everybody together during the '90s. You talking about the riots and stuff like that. Like he was bringing everybody together.
I feel like that's the part that the media didn't want to show with Pac, because he really did. Like, if you listen, like a lot of people, like with me, a lot of people say that I'm prejudiced or whatever, you know. But you know, Bobby Seale, you know Bobby Seale is? He's the co-founder of the Black Panthers, you know, and he had they interviewed him and they asked him, it was like, why do y'all hate white people? And so like his answer, I felt like his answer was the best thing. He said, I don't hate white people. We hate oppressor. We hate oppression. And you know, and it just so happened that who's leading the oppressive system, you know, that they're white. Yeah. You know, so he's saying, my problem, he said, if it was a black man inside the government oppressing us, then I'd have a problem with him too. And so, that's how like Tupac music was, you know. It just so happened that he grew up in the society, in the system, in the nation where his oppressors were Caucasian. And so I feel like with Pac music, like his song White Man's World, you heard that one? It was off his Machiavelli album.
I probably didn't hear that one.
You listen to that one. That one, he really did just like, he didn't go out, he didn't say, he said, oh, the white man did this to me, white man do that. He was just speaking the facts of how life is going, you know. And I feel like if Pac didn't die, you know, his music would have really like
touched a lot of people.
Yeah, and it was
to the point where it been dangerous.
Exactly, and that's
they didn't want that shit.
No, it wasn't, because I feel like that unity, because like I said, like I'm a conspiracy theory or whatever, however you want to call it, but I say the big heads that run this country, you know, their fear is unity. You know, Fred Hampton, you ever research about him? He was the leader of the Black Panthers when Huey and Bobby Seale and all them was in prison, and he was a threat because he got with the Irish, the Koreans, the Japanese, some of the Jewish, the Hawaiians, the Muslims. He got with all of them, and he united all of them together. And then while he united all of them together, he had Caucasian people in his group also. So when he did that was like a threat to the big heads, cause, you know, because it was like that unity right there. You know, it was like, man, how he come? Scared. Yeah, and that's what happened. And so like, and sure enough, they raided his house and they put like 8 shots in his body. And then when they saw that he was still moving, the police officer went up to him and said, I think he's still alive, but shot him dead right there in front of his wife and child. And so like, I feel like with music, especially today, you know, you got so much people listening to hip hop and rap. So I feel like with you, man, you being the artist, you got one of the biggest responsibilities on your shoulders. You know, I'm like, where I'm from, a lot of people rap, a lot of people sing, a lot of people make music, you know, because we in the country, you know, we don't have that strong, like you said earlier, you know, ain't nothing about deers and trees out there. You ain't nothing about to walk and write some songs. And, you know, and that outlet, we don't even know how strong an influence music can be. And, you know, and I see that sometimes that some people don't want that pressure, like, well, I didn't ask to be the role model for these people. I didn't ask for them to do that, so they're gonna be disappointed if they want to or not.
But you on that platform.
Exactly.
You on that platform. And I mean, honestly, as the generation go by, it's just gonna be bullshit on top of bullshit. Cause, you know, people from back in the day, we losing them now. And then we got music today, like funny how you say music today, but a lot of these people ain't really talking about shit. If you really think about it. They just in it for the moment. It's party music. I like to say something that can stick with somebody and they actually remember it. And be like, damn, I remember he said that. Like how Tupac did. Like, he influenced me. Him, me, people who tell stories and stuff like that. Like, I don't like, you know, saying stuff that people can't benefit from in the future.
So let me ask you your input on mumble rappers.
I mean, ain't nothing wrong with mumble rap. I mean, if you at a party, I'm not gonna be wanting to hear no country shit all the time if you at a party or something like that. But I mean, that's just me. Like that's what I hear a lot, you know. But mumble rap, I mean, that's straight. I mean, I don't even know what mumble rap is. It's all rap. To be honest with you, it's all rap. It's just they just talk about stuff that really don't really
benefit us.
Yeah, like doing drugs, like stuff like that. Like ain't really popping pills and shit. They influencing kids to do dumb shit.
when I interview Tyrone, you know, we were talking. Some of that part got cut off in the interview, but we were talking about mumble rap. I did one of my college papers I did on was hip hop versus mumble rap, and don't ask me what hip hop stands for, but the actual meaning of hip hop is to heal our people in infinite ways. And so like that's what it started off in the 70s, and like you listen to it from the 70s up to like I want to say like the 90s. You know, it was that in the 80s is where like it was that fight the power movement part right there. And so that's what hip hop was pure with, man, that helping our people. And so then you got into the 90s where you got Pac and Nas and Hove, and then it was still kind of like it was like helping our people, but I'm telling you my story of how I got here now. You know, that's how like how all this all with Biggie, Juice.
And it's the telling reality of it.
Yeah, you know, and I feel like that's how it was. Like, you know, like NWA, I give NWA as like the biggest example. Like, you know, nobody knew what was going on in Compton. You know, nobody knew what was going on, but they got that platform and they used it. And so like, when I feel like after Pac and Biggie got killed, that's when like the opportunity to seize hip hop came in, because after that, that's when you had like the 2000 rappers. And, you know, it was still battling, like it was conscious, and it was still like, okay, what are you talking about? You know, like to me, Lil Wayne, the greatest rapper of all time.
Yeah, I knew you was about to say it.
You know, and Lil Wayne, yeah, exactly, man. And Lil Wayne's the only rapper I know that is like, he could talk about doing drugs, but then you listen to his metaphors, what he's saying, it's like,
and it's so deep to the point where you're like, damn.
Like, yo, like, you know, and I give Lil Wayne that, and so like I said, like, so when Lil Wayne was killing it, then you got into like I say 2010 to 2010s era when Kendrick and Cole finally got big. You know, they reintroduced the conscious to hip hop, and so then now you enter the, what you said, 2015s. I don't even want to call, when Migos first came out, I'd say they were mumble rappers, because, you know, nobody understood what they were saying. Like,
but they created their own style.
They did. That's what I was about to say.
You can't really say nothing. They created their own style and it worked. Like,
Migos and Future, like, you know, you couldn't understand what they were saying. But
I wasn't really a big fan of Future like that.
When he first came out, no.
No. But that song he did, Kendrick Lamar.
Which one?
That King's Dead song.
Oh, yeah.
I was like, oh my God, they let this shit on the radio.
I did not know they was going to put him on there. Like, that was out of all the Kendrick people on that list, on this song, Future was the last person I expected to be on that album. Yeah. It was the last person.
I wasn't feeling that Future got to do better.
Well, like I said, I think I want to say probably like 2015, 16 is when mumble rapping really came in. Like, when it kind of came in. Future and Young Thug opened the door for it, but they opened the door for it to be. It wasn't really mumble rap. I saw they opened the door for auto-tune rapping, and that's why I saw it. But like me, like anytime it's like if you ever get in my car, Yachty, Uzi, Pump, all them, they will never get played in my car. I feel like that's the epitome of ignorant music right there.
I don't listen to them like that either. Like if we at a party, you know, they be jumping them.
Yeah. Yeah, I would say like you know, you at a party, you want to hear the beat. You know, you ain't really try to hear the song. I'm like, all right, bet I can understand that. But when I see people come to me saying, "Oh, this album's hard," or whatever, you know, man. Yeah, no, man, I don't listen to beats. I listen to the words, man. That's how they get their lyric. Kendrick Lamar's song, you ever heard "The Black of the Berry"? You know, that song right there is hard.
That's my shit.
You know,
that's my shit.
You know, his lyrics. If he just was using that beat, but speaking off of some different stuff, doing drugs or whatever, that song would never have got the recognition that it got now. You know, but from him saying, you know, his opening line, I'm the biggest hypocrite in 2015. that right there just caught my attention. I'm like, okay, what you about to say next?
Bang made me kill a nigga blacker than me.
That part right there. When he ended it like that too.
Yeah.
That made me think. I was like, dang. Because like a lot of people.
Really went in on that.
Let me ask you about this. How do you, when you see another a black brother, a black sister get killed by the cops, how do you feel about that?
Honestly, I feel like.
Now hold on, before you respond, how do you feel about that? Would you share the same remorse, the same way Kendrick said he ended the verse? How can I weep when Trayvon Martin was dead in the streets when gangbang made me kill a nigga blacker than me? So do you feel the same remorse when you see our brothers and sisters get killed by a cop versus
Black on black crime?
Yeah.
No, I feel like it's worse when a black person kill another black person.
Mm-hmm.
Matter of fact, I was talking about that in one of my songs that I might be dropping on the new mixtape. Talking about a Lil Derek situation when he got shot in his chest.
Mm-hmm.
And it was like, like we both black. Then the gunman was like 24. The kid was 15. He didn't even graduate high school yet. So that's what made it even worse. But black on black crime, I feel like that's worse than police brutality or something like that, because it's like we already see what the fuck they doing to us.
Mm-hmm.
But now it's like we doing it to ourselves. We're basically killing ourselves off. You don't see them boy out there doing that shit to each other.
Mm-hmm. You feel so like, let me ask you this. Is this the part where it gets real deep? Let me ask you this. What do you feel like, why do you feel like that's a real problem in our community? Like why, like if everybody watching, everybody listening, they know I'm conscious and I'm political, I'm a social activist and all this stuff. So I saw Black Panther yesterday. And
I see it.
let me tell you, man, it really is, it's the average superhero movie. You got the good guy, you got the bad guy, good guy win at the end. But it's the message that was inside the movie. The movie started off with him him in Nigeria, and he had to go find these girls. And I caught on as soon as it was the same missing Nigerian girls that was on the news a couple of years ago. I can really tell you the movie, but the message I got from the movie was, we're fighting a constant battle, but we're not fighting the suppressors. We're fighting ourselves.
Yeah.
And that's the problem. We got so much competition with ourselves instead of helping each other out.
Mm-hmm.
And I feel like that's the main cause in us, like why we have such a problem in our community, because since slavery time, they've been putting us against each other. We all try to outdo each other. Like I talked to Jay about this. I talked to Tyrone about this. I saw this picture, and I talked to Arkeem about this. I saw this picture, and it said Charleston rappers. It had the steps, and the Charleston rappers like barely pulling each other up.
Pulling each other down. Other rappers in other states,
they helping each other up.
Yeah, pushing each other up the steps.
And it all comes from a perspective. For me, I feel like it was a Charleston person that made that picture, and from his or her perspective.
Well, honestly, I got some good shit to say about that. Honestly, because it's like they got people in different states who already paid the way. Say it's like you in Atlanta, you already got a Future, you already got Young Thug, you already got Usher, like R&B, hip hop, this, that, whatever you need, they got it. So who all we got? Darius Rucker.
That's so
niggas who doing country in South Carolina, they like, shoot, we trying to get there with Darius Rucker. But everybody who rapping and singing in Charleston, it's like they all want to be the first. They want to be the first nigga out of that bitch and be the best nigga out of that motherfucker. So, of course it's gonna be like that. And then again, like, our city, like, we're not that rich of a city. Like, it's very historic. That's why people come here. It's not because it's like big city and this and that and the third, like all them other places. Like, we ain't really, and people trying to get out.
Yeah.
People trying to make their music, get rich and get out. And then when they do get out, they ain't gonna help nobody. I feel like they ain't gonna help nobody. I feel like they had that selfish mindset for so long. But I feel like in order for you to get blessings, you gotta be a blessing to others. So I feel like once I get up and once I get it, I'm gonna start my own label and bring it over here.
That's what I was just about to ask you, man.
Bring it over here.
That's
Like,
about to ask you that you gonna bring it back. You know, I feel and
Yeah.
same thing you said, man. A lot of people want to leave Charleston. Like,
why leave it and leave it looking shitty when you left it?
You know,
instead of come back and invest
why make another city better?
Somebody else,
you know,
who can make money and go out, then come back and we can build this bitch up. But ain't nobody thinking like that.
You know, I just was talking to somebody about like somebody said they were telling me, they was like, oh, I feel like you want to stay in Charleston all your life. And I was like, it's not I want to stay in Charleston all my life. That's my home. You know, excuse me. It's my home. I'm not crying, y'all. My nose got stuff. This is my home, and so I want to rebuild my home. You know, I don't want to. Why go to
a city that's already built?
You know, they're not gonna miss me if I don't show up. You know, but Charleston is gonna miss me when I don't show up. You know exactly. You know, this is where, you know, you want to take it from like a funny way. This is where I pay my taxes at. You know, or this is where my roots came from. You know, when I go out, people ask me where you from. I say Charleston. You know, I don't say South Carolina because, you know, you got Columbia. You know, you got Rock Hill. You got Spartanburg. You know, like those places already got like a big name or to it already. But you know, but like that's where I said from.
Charleston.
I'm from Charleston. All people think is slavery. You know, that's all. You know, and I always try to tell people that I'm like, yo, y'all want to leave, y'all want to get out of South Carolina so bad, but y'all don't even know how it is in other states. I was like, I met so many people from different states, and they said the same thing about their state. I was like, you know, I want to get out of here so bad. You know, they hate it there, and I feel like
it all depends on what type of life you live in while you're there.
Yeah.